I hope I'm audible. Very good afternoon to all. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I will Kaushik on behalf of Team Shrishiksha would first like to welcome Ms. Shalmali Jadhav, our guest speaker, and all of you who are watching us through Zoom and YouTube to this wonderful workshop on how to create employment opportunities through digital media. I welcome you to this webinar, which has been organized by Shrishiksha, an e-learning platform that provides and specializes in entrepreneurship and digital leadership for young people in collaboration with the startup cell of Meher Chand Mahajan, DAV College, Chandigarh. Our other esteemed collaborators include Rotaract Chandigarh Himalaya, Rotaract Club Noida, and Rotaract Club Shakti Niketan. Let us together dive into our passion and discover ways in which we can actually start living our dreams. Let us discover this roadway to get it all started and how digital media can lead us through this journey. And I hope this day finds you in the best of your spirits. Let's start with the video first.
Hello everybody, my name is and I support Shrishiksha in self-reliant India. Shrishiksha, we are nation's pride. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shrishiksha. I am 20 years old. I support Shrishiksha in creating a self-reliant India. Shrishiksha Nation's Pride. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name
So before we start the webinar, I request everyone to keep their microphones muted throughout the session. You can interact and ask questions through chat box. If at any point the audio is not clear, you can let us know via the chat box and also try rejoining the meeting in case you face any problem. And any kind of spam activity shall be terminated right away. So let's begin. Please meet Mrs. Shalmali Jadhav. Her passion is to bring out positive change in the society and is widely recognized for her work in making this. She is also a captivating storyteller who has spoken at various events, institutions, and platforms. She is the founder and executive director of Empathy in You, an organization which is working effortlessly to create awareness of mental health and suicide prevention and their importance among the youth population. She has also counseled many young people till now. Now, this just is she's also the founder of CEO of U League, through which she aims to connect aspiring entrepreneurs and mentors and various essential skill sets to help them bring their ideas to fruition. She is the youngest to be chosen as a member at an International Youth Council by United Nations. And now she is the one who is leading the Indian subcontinent. To her credit, she has been awarded as the change maker from youthlead.org. Mrs. Shalmali, we are very pleased to have you here with us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vidisha. Thank you so much for introducing me. I hope I'm audible properly. I hope I'm visible properly. Please give me a heads up. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay. So I guess my introduction and everything is done. We can go directly towards the webinar. I'll just share my screen. So a very good afternoon, everyone. I'm really delighted to see 26 of you over here. and interested people who are really interested in knowing about creating employment opportunities through digital media. And that's really great. We are living in this millennial generation. We are living in the technological world, the technological era where everything works digitally. Like since the last year, especially, we have turned everything from in person to digital. Like if you ask me, I had to turn my entire business to online because when it comes to empathy for you, we conduct a lot of sessions, we conduct letter writing events, we go to schools, colleges, and conduct lectures over there. However, since the lockdown started in the month of March last year, we weren't able to do anything, and that is why we had to change everything, all the setup of my business from in person or physical to digital. So we started taking online sessions, we started conducting online activities, and that was it. But we are now kind of surviving through this digital media, and we are just loving what we are doing. However, if you ask me, my journey of digital media, it started when I was in 12th grade because that's the first job I found out through digital media. I'm going to share this story with you, but let's go ahead now and let me tell you what we are going to cover in today's session. So these are the four distinct points that I'm going to cover in today's session. The first we are going to see is how you have to find a job with digital media. I have noted down some of the steps in order to make sure that you are while finding a job, you make sure that you are taking these points in consideration. Those are the points that come from my experience. The second we're going to see is building your portfolio online. Portfolio, as in whatever it might be. If you're there on Instagram, building a good aesthetic Instagram field. If you're there on LinkedIn, building a good LinkedIn profile. If you're there on Facebook, making sure that the recruiters on the Facebook are recognizing you. Yes, recruiters are there on Facebook too. Third thing we're going to see is how to optimize your profile, maybe any digital platform. And then we're going to see how to make money digitally. Here I'm going to share my short story with you. All right, so these are the 4 points that we are going to cover today in today's webinar. Okay, so before moving ahead, this is the question that I've kept constant because most of the times we are running behind everything, running behind college, running behind our work, and we forget to ask this question to ourselves, like, how are you feeling or how are we feeling? So I ask this question to all of you, like, how are you feeling these days? It might be anything. Just make sure that you answer in the chat box. Please don't unmute. So I especially, included this question when the lockdown started. I've included this question for all the webinars since the COVID-19 pandemic started. So what you see in this picture was our Halat a few months back in the lockdown. You see that she's the girl, she's dancing, then she's chatting, sleeping on a bed, she's working, she's baking, she's watching TV. So this was something, this was the scenario, this was our scenario when we were confined to only one place, and that was our home. However, now we have resumed to our own activities. We are going back to work, we're going back to schools and colleges. So yes, please let me know. I'm already getting responses in the chat box. How are you feeling these days? It might be anything. It might be negative also, like you might be feeling sad, you might be feeling upset, you might be feeling chaotic. It might be anything. Just give your true answers, whatever you are feeling. Feeling ready to become financially independent as soon as possible. That's really nice. Feeling superb, unmotivated. Okay, we'll make you feel motivated by the end of this webinar. Feeling full of opportunity. That's great. Any more answers? Feeling financially motivated. That's great. Not happy. Okay. Any other answers? All right. Okay, so before moving ahead, just to make sure that the impact of this webinar is going to be huge, or whatever you're going to learn today in this webinar is going to be a lot more, statistics involved and a lot more things involved. So here's the first stat. 92% of the recruiters use social media for recruiting, according to a recent study. And this is what I read in the morning, and I've thought of why not include this stat in the webinar today. And that's true. You also might have experienced this, that there are a lot of recruiters out there who are using social media to recruit you. And that's the impact, or that's how powerful social media is. And now you have to make sure that you're making use of this impact. Okay, so the first point, The first point is finding jobs through social media. Now, before going to this, let me tell you how I found out my first job. So, this is the short story that comes in picture now. So, when I was in 12th grade, in fact, from my school, I've always been fond of writing. I used to submit articles for my school's annual magazine. I used to write something. I started my blog when I was in 12th grade. So, I used to do a lot of things, and I especially loved writing when it comes to travel writing or food writing. So, there's something called as freelance content writing, and I wasn't even aware of this term. So, what I did when in 12th grade, we were introduced to LinkedIn, and it was very new at that time. I wasn't knowing what LinkedIn is, I wasn't knowing how to use that. So, I just created a profile one fine day on LinkedIn. But as and when I read about LinkedIn, the impact it can create upon us, or what it can lead to us, how network it can give us, like networking with professionals is the one thing that I have received through LinkedIn. So when I started understanding the impact of LinkedIn, I started optimizing my profile according to that. So I one fine day I got to know about the term freelance content writing on LinkedIn, and I also got to know that people are hiring freelance content writers through LinkedIn. So what I started doing is I used to start posting my small write-ups on LinkedIn, whatever it might be, story or anything. And that used to be so unmatured. Like I wasn't knowing how exactly you have to post, what are the features that go on LinkedIn, and how you can make sure that your post is being recognized by the recruiters. I wasn't knowing anything about that, but still I used to make sure that I post small write-ups, might be about travel, might be about food, might be about entertainment, might be about small poems. So I started posting that. And guess what? After a few posts, I don't remember the exact number, but I got recruited. I received a message from one of the companies, Travel.Earth, and that's where I landed my first job offer through LinkedIn. So that's the power of LinkedIn. That is why I wanted to tell you about LinkedIn. So what I did, I first of all, made sure that I know everything about LinkedIn, using the features, making sure that my LinkedIn profile is optimized. Then I made sure that what recruiters want, I understood, okay, this is what the recruiters are expecting from me. And that is why I started posting small write-ups on LinkedIn. After that, I made sure that those write-ups or whatever I post on LinkedIn is being recognized by the recruiters. So these are some of the steps that I took, and through that, I have made sure that I wrote down the points for you to understand what it exactly takes to find a job with digital media. So the first thing is to write down your plan. Now, what does it exactly mean to write down your plan? We should make sure that we are writing down goals, we're writing down some aims, and that is what writing down your plan is. What your plan should include, first thing is to know what exactly you're trying to do, what exactly you're trying to achieve, what kind of job you want, what you're going to do. Writing down a plan, actually, like I wanted a freelance content writer job. What I did, I optimized my profile. I started posting on LinkedIn. I started making sure that my posts are getting recognized by the recruiters. So, in short, writing down the plan, step by step guide about what you're going to do to make sure that recruiters are recognizing. The second thing, scrub your social networks. Now, what does it mean to scrub your social networks? Now, when I started posting, what does it mean to be recognized by recruiters? Is one thing that you have to network with them. Now, wherever I saw the post, or whenever I saw the vacancy for the freelance content writer, I made sure that I at least connect with at least one of the person who's working there, who's already an employee there. And you get this option, okay, or you get this information when you're trying to search for a company. You know how many people, if anyone from your connection is working over there, or anyone from your network is working over there, you get a notification. So I started connecting with those people. So that is how you scrub your social networks. You build a network online, you build your portfolio online. The third thing, present a professional image. Now here the thing is not only about professional image, but the whole profile. Now when it comes to LinkedIn, guys, make sure that after this webinar, you go to LinkedIn and search for Shalmali Jadhav. You'll get my profile, and you'll understand how optimized my profile has become. Obviously, I'm not saying that it was a one day work that I optimized my profile and it started getting noticed by people. No, but it has taken time. Like almost after 4 years, I can say that I have optimized my profile. I started at 12th grade. Now I have completed 4 years after my graduation, And now I can say that, okay, my profile is optimized and now it's getting recognized by people out there. So, I'm not saying that the change is going to happen in one day, but once you start realizing what features are, once you start realizing how you have to optimize, and once you get that secret, there's nothing, that's going to stop you. So first thing, you have to make sure that that's a professional image out there. I have also seen a lot of people out there putting selfies as the profile picture of LinkedIn. So I don't really understand what's the problem. Like, LinkedIn is not as Instagram, LinkedIn is not as Facebook. You really have to build a professional image. And I'm not also saying that because you see my Instagram profile, that's also equally professional. You won't see my selfies, you won't see other pictures. But I've tried to keep my Instagram profile professional too. So that's the one thing. And it's not only about image, but the whole profile. Next, be authentic. Now, what exactly it is to be authentic, but you have to be real. Now, when it comes to social media, people feel that you have to put on a mask and you have to don't have to show to the world what you are, but you have to put on that mask and you have to show people how professional you are and how social you are. No, just be your real self. Just be who you are on social media, and I think that's one of the trick to attract a lot of people. Make some personal posts also, like sharing your routine, talking about how you landed your first job, talking about the impact you've created. So there are a lot of things. So be authentic on social media, because the people who are there, they are not hiring your work, but they're going to hire you. So it's very important to be authentic and be real over there. Next is become more engaged. So when it comes to engaging, I think you have to post not very often, I would say, but you have to make sure that you are at least being present at least once a week. You're posting once a week. You're posting stories, or you're being out there. You're talking and interacting with your followers, your connections. So that's really important. And then network with professionals and hiring sites. Just as I said, I used to drop a message so that at least I get to know a person who is working there. Again, the next. Okay. Okay, I just want you guys to read this stat. 73% of millennials found their latest position with the help of social media. Again, one more powerful stat, one more stat which realizes you the power of social media. As I said, we are living in a millennial generation, and if you ask even a school kid about how you have to install a game, how you have to install a video game, that kid will go himself or herself to the Play Store and install that game and then give it to you. So that's the power of the millennial generation. That it's all about digital media. It's all about social media. Okay, I left out on this point. Why is LinkedIn a powerful tool for your professional success? Now, I guess I covered all the points over here, but I just want you guys to read and go through it once, because I have a different kind of connection with LinkedIn. I adore this LinkedIn. I adore the social media site when it especially comes to hiring and when it especially comes to recruiting. So first, job recruiters and managers are on LinkedIn. So, I would say that 90% of your recruiters are using LinkedIn, the social media site. Next, your profile builds trust and credibility. Just excuse me, guys. Let me drink some water. Okay. So the second point, your profile builds trust and credibility. Again, as I said, you have to optimize your profile. The third thing, networking opportunities. LinkedIn is the best social media site for networking with professionals. I'm saying with professionals. Because this, you also have an environment where you just have to post your pictures and you have to keep it a super personal feed. But there's also some point where it's related to your work, right? So I think networking opportunities with professionals is the most important thing when it comes to LinkedIn. And the last one, you will keep yourself up to date on job openings. This is again one more thing about LinkedIn. So I think, why I'm giving an example of LinkedIn, it's not just because LinkedIn is all about hiring, hiring, and hiring, but LinkedIn is also about making yourself professional, going out there, posting professional posts, connecting with professionals. And the word professional is well suited with LinkedIn. I think that's the most important thing about LinkedIn. Okay, moving ahead. Hmm. Discussing the second point of this webinar, building an online portfolio and making it hire friendly. Now, again, it all these points they come from my experience. Now, I'll tell you how. The first point, figure out what you're showing off. So first thing you have to do is to know what people are wanting from you on social media, what people are interested in you. When I created my profile on Instagram, although it was a personal profile earlier or it was private profile, I made it public. Once I started with Empathy for You, I founded my venture and then I founded my second venture. So in last year, I made it public. Now, when I made it public, the first post I did, it did not receive, you know, kind of attention I was expecting because I don't know, there was something missing that people were not really interested in looking at that post or liking and then coming back to my profile and following my profile. So after a few days, I made another post, and that was about, that came from my experience. That was a very personal post that I made, and that was really relatable to all of them out there. Like the followers that I have are really of my age or the school kids and the college kids. So you know the post that I made, that was really relatable to them. So there I understood that what I have to post on social media should be relatable with the people. So that's the first trick behind knowing or gaining followers or gaining likes and comments, is that I have to know what people are interested in on seeing on social media. So that's the first secret I would say, or that's the first trick behind building your profile and making it higher friendly, that you have to understand what your recruiters want from you or what your followers want from you. The second thing, keep it simple and personal. Personal is, I would always recommend to keep your profile personal. As I said, when it comes to showing off your stuff, less is definitely more. Keep it simple for all of them to understand. Like if you're talking about, recently I made a post on Instagram about the impact of creative. I try to keep it as simple as I can. Like 45, I wanted people to tell like 45 webinars or the 45 people that I've coached related to business coaching. Then I just wrote 45 number, and here I wrote individuals coached related to business. So that's simple. That's how simple I made it, and that's how personal I kept, talking about my experiences, talking about my failures, talking about my challenges and the hurdles I came overcame. Third thing, make it easy to navigate. Now, when you're talking about, when you're talking about you're creating, the impact you've created, and when you're talking about um, why people must find you, you should make sure that you're keeping it easy to navigate. And when it comes to my profile, there's a personal profile I'm building. There are two other organization ka profile, Empathy for You as well as Yuli. So just imagine my profile talking about all these three. There, my profile is also talking about my personal achievements. My profile is also talking about Empathy for You and whatever we are doing through Empathy for You. And it also talks about ULead and whatever we do through ULead. Just imagine how chaotic it might be, and no one will ever come to see my profile. So you have to make it easy for the people to navigate. And that's what we did. My personal profile is different. My Empathy for You ka profile is different. My ULead ka profile is different. So these three are three different points. So here's what I've noted down. When you have a lot of work to show off, placing everything on a single page can be overwhelming. So you just have to categorize your work. For example, there's something about business coaching that you want to say, you have to keep it different. There's something about mental health that you have to show, you have to keep it different. There's something about personal development or self-development or personal growth, you have to keep it different. So categorize your work and make sure that people are getting navigated towards it easily. And the last point, remember, it's not only for work. As I said, you also have to make sure that you're making some personal posts. Like talk about your morning routine, talk about your evening routine, talk about what you do throughout the day, talk about how you're trying to make a difference, talk about how you're trying to create an impact, talk about the challenges that you overcame. When I started empathy for you, I overcame this challenges. I faced this challenges. When I started you lead, these were the obstacles that I faced. So talk about your personal journey also. That relates to a lot of people, and the people who are out there who don't have an opinion, not an opinion, who don't have a voice, at least try to relate it to that, and at least try to learn something from it. So as I said earlier, the person isn't here to hire your work, but you. The person is not going to hire your work, but he or she is going to hire you. So that's important. So these are some of the points. You can take a screenshot if you want, but that's the point. Like what you have to make sure that you take these points in consideration while building your profile online and making it hire friendly. And now, guys, I'm not paying attention towards the chat box. Okay, so you can keep dropping your questions, and I'll take all the questions on towards the last 10 minutes. Okay, moving to the next point. Huh. How to optimize your profile. Now, this is, again, customized and related to LinkedIn. However, these are the important points that come in all types of social media profiles. It's all about your professional headline. It's all about summary you write. It's all about the profile you create. It's all about, your photo that you post. Okay, so the first thing, create an SEO friendly professional headline. Now, I haven't opened my LinkedIn profile over here, but if you check my LinkedIn profile, there's a professional headline that comes, or whatever it is. And Instagram ka bio bolte hai usse. Whatever you write in bio might be, what you are, founder of MVP for you lead. I have, I'll show you my Instagram ka this thing. I'll show you what I've written. Okay. So it is, it is Shalmali, 22 and 2 years of helping people build profitable businesses, founder of Empathy for You and You Lead, mental health, personal finance, YouTuber, and then I've added my YouTube ka profile. So that's how it is. Simple, and people knowing what exactly I'm trying to do. People are knowing since when I'm working for this. So that's the professional headline. Whereas on LinkedIn, you'll find it in the same way itself. Okay, next one. Add a professional photo. Your photo has to be professional. I'm not going to talk a lot about this because as I said earlier, like what I saw on LinkedIn, like I still see some of them posting the selfies or the photo where they have been to a vacation or something like that on LinkedIn. I don't understand why and how. Okay, the next. Write a dazzling about or summary section. Now, what I guess Vidisha read was my profile, and that's the same profile what I've posted on LinkedIn also. So you might have seen the words that I've used, the profile that I have, kind of kept it dynamic in whatever I've done through that. So that's how you have to, make sure that you are bringing everything of your work on summary or about section. Because see, not everyone is going to come and keep scrolling through your profile and the work you have done. But you have to make sure that you are writing down all of your work in that small summary section. So you have to use those remarkable words, you have to use those words, the vocabulary, and making sure that you are bringing that first impression on the recruiter or whoever who is seeing your profile. So you have to make sure that your profile or about, summary section or the about is dazzling. Now next, focus on including the right keywords for your personal brand. And when it comes to digital media, it's all about keywords. It's all about, SEO. You have to make sure that you are, for example, you use hashtags on Instagram, right? You use hashtags to make sure that whatever you're posting or it's being recognized. The same way it's on LinkedIn. You have to make sure that you have to use the right keywords. Next, beyond the about summary, experience and education sections, fully populate every other applicable profile section. Now, apart from the about summary and everything, all the other sections that belong to LinkedIn, you also have to make sure that you are filling out the experience and all the sections that are available on LinkedIn, because that's really important. And that is how you have to optimize your profile. So these are some of the points that you can keep in your mind while optimizing your profile. This not only doesn't belong to LinkedIn, but it also belongs to Instagram and Facebook also. However, if you check my profile on Facebook, it's not really optimized because I don't really use Facebook for long. But yes, I have found recruiters on Facebook too, and I say this from experience. Whatever I'm talking to today is all from my experience. The points that I've included here, or whatever in the previous points also, they all come from experience. So I'm saying that whatever you have to do, make sure you're optimizing these three platforms properly, and I'm sure you'll land up a job definitely. And here, what I've written at the end is more content is equal to more relevant keywords is equal to better personal SEO or visibility. SEO is nothing but you getting recognized by others. So you have to make sure that you're making more content, and in that content you're using more relevant keywords so that you're getting that visibility, you're getting recognized by the recruiters. So that's how you optimize your profile. And towards the last point of this webinar is how to make money digitally. Now, those are some of the things that I have done or I have included in this webinar for you guys to understand how you can make money digitally. However, these are not the only options, but there are a lot of options that you can use in order to make money digitally. The first one I have done is freelance content writer. I was also an SEO expert for a few days with a firm. I was working as an SEO expert. The next one is sell consulting services to the companies. I still do that. I consult companies upon, if consulting people, consulting companies upon how they have to build their social media or all they have to marketing and sales. The next is coaching academy, which is ULEAD, which is in short ULEAD, because that's what we are trying to do. We are coaching people out there in order to make them, in order to make sure that they're building profitable ventures. The next is social media manager, managing social media for the companies, designing the posts and all these things come under social media manager. The next is create and sell your own digital products. There are a lot of products that you can do. For example, if you have seen this blogger, Larissa, she sells her own presets. So that's an example of creating and selling your own digital products. Then YouTuber, I do have my YouTube channel. Also, guys, check out my YouTube channel with the name Shalmali. You'll understand what I'm doing over there. And the digital marketing agency, again, kind of related to social media, designing posts and using relevant hashtags and the SEO and everything, paid promotions and everything. So yeah, these are some of the ways you can make money digitally. However, these are not only the ways. There are a lot of more than 100 ways where you can make money digitally. There are travel bloggers who are making the money. You can blog in order to make money. You can do a lot of things because digital media is so vast. It's not only limited to this certain points, but it's really, really vast. Okay, yeah, so that's it from my side. And here's I've included something. Social media is not just a place to find a dream job, but a good way to be at the but a way to be good at the job you already have. So yeah, that's the point. Even if you're not here to find a job, but you can make sure that you're being good at the job that you already have. And yes, those are my contact profiles. Like if you're on Instagram, you can stalk me. Shalmali is my personal profile. Empathy for you is empathy for you profile, and You Lead India is You Lead profile. If you want to talk, if you want to ask me any questions, you can drop your queries to these email IDs, or you can DM me on my personal account too. Yes, so that's all from my side. Now I'll just take your questions, guys. If you have any questions, make sure you are dropping them in the chat box. How to get job using LinkedIn. This is something that I already answered. I covered in the webinar. personal experiences work best on LinkedIn, as what's happening with you can be happening with same lot of people. Yeah, that's what I said. The content that you put has to be relatable with the people out there. People must relate, and people, and believe me, people who relate to that content, they really follow your profile. They really like your post. They really comment on your post, and that's what I've seen through my experience. How to convert a freelancing skill into a business. Okay. So as I mentioned, like whatever it might be, I don't know what freelancing skill exactly you're doing, but what I did was uh, that's what I mentioned earlier, the short story that I told you. I was fond of writing. I made sure that okay, I'm having this. I made sure that I get at least one freelance opportunity from my LinkedIn profile. So I started posting out there. I started a blog, and then made sure that recruiters are recognizing my content. So that's you have to. That's what I said. You have to create a plan on your own. See what I told or whatever the points I mentioned. Those were from my personal experiences. However, the same points are not going to work for you. You are supposed to create a path for you. I just showed you a direction. I just told you, okay, go in this direction. However, you have to create a path for yourself to walk upon those paths. I won't create a path for you and then I'll tell you, okay, this is the correct path and go. No, you might walk for a few kilometers and you might fall down because working for me might not work for you. So these were some of the examples that I told you. These were some of the points I told you that you can consider. However, you have to make sure that you are personalizing your own points and then you're making sure that okay, you're following those points. Don't just blindly follow what I told you. Just, try to personalize it. Try to make sure that you are doing it for yourself. Okay, so yeah, someone has posted. Tavishi has posted my LinkedIn profile over here. YouTube ka just go to YouTube and type Shalmali Jadhav, you'll get my profile over there. Ma'am, I want to do part-time anchoring and presentations, etc. Can I find a job related to that on LinkedIn? Yes, sure, you can do. There's a friend of mine who's working at business unit, and what she does is she's also a great speaker. And what she does is she trains corporates in social skills, in professional skills, and communication skills. So she's working at the company called Business Unit, BU, and you guys, these guys, they're posted at different companies. See, every company that hires you has a training period for you, and in that training, it has made compulsory now that they have also have to teach you, professional skills like writing an email or something like that, and communication skills also. So during this, yeah, so during this training, she goes at different companies and she conducts this different trainings related to communication skills. So yes, you can make your part-time anchoring and presentations into a business. You can convert it into a business. Try to search on LinkedIn related to try to search this hashtags related to professional skills, communication skills, and you definitely might find something on LinkedIn. How to get a working career out of blogs of content. I like that. Where to post such things. Okay, Bipasha, there's one thing that you have to do is to make sure that you are, catching, or the people are getting attention towards your blog, because that's the most thing when it comes to blog, that you have to drive that traffic towards your blog. Again, as I said, there are a lot of factors that we have to take in consideration. Since I'm a writer, I know that. When it comes to blog, make sure that your length is limited because people are not really interested in reading, too lengthy blogs. So make sure your length is limited. Make sure you're using simple words, no, stylish words, no fancy words. Make sure you're keeping it simple because that's what the readers are interested, and that's what the stat I got. So make sure you're keeping it simple. Also make sure that you are using relevant images for that, and try to make sure that whatever you're using on a blog is coming from your personal post. And when you are trying to make a career, I would say earlier make sure that you're starting it on WordPress, or then you can start it on blog post. You can start with either of this and then you can try to convert it in your own personal blog. Then you can start out a website or a blog and then you can start posting. because starting out your own website or blog, it's a paid thing. But Blogspot and WordPress are giving you free. So initially, if you want to start and understand what exactly blogging is, you can start with this two websites. However, if you feel that okay, now my website is getting attention and now people are reading that, and that's the stat, you will get the stats at the end of the month on both the sites. So according to the stats, you can decide whether you want to start your paid personal blog or not. I don't understand how LinkedIn works. I'm not able to understand the working. Who should I take guidance from for building a good profile? Diksha, you can message me. Okay, Diksha, you can message me, or you can just make sure that you go to LinkedIn and find my profile. You'll at least get a small idea of a little bit idea of what exactly LinkedIn is, or what exactly you are trying to do with LinkedIn, However, if I have to answer how LinkedIn works, so make sure you are using relevant
Everyone, there might be a technical glitch at ma'am's end. Please have patience for a minute. We're resolving the same. Khushbu, can you please look through it?
I'm sorry, I guess there was a problem with my internet connection. Okay, so I was answering Diksha's question, I guess.
Yes, ma'am, you may continue.
Hmm. Yeah, so sorry.
I said you're audible, ma'am. You may continue, please.
Okay, perfect. I'm audible properly, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so I was answering a question. I was telling you that LinkedIn is game of SEO and keywords. So the keywords that you use, or the hashtags you use, or whatever it is, the words you use, it's all about how you people are going to get attracted towards what you're writing and what you're posting. So that's the most important thing that you have to take in account. I guess, guys, I lost the questions that you guys asked. So after Diksha, were there any questions? Please post it again in the chat box. Anchoring and presentation, I guess I answered this question.
Ma'am, according to my knowledge, you've answered all the previous questions. Participants, if you need to ask any other questions, please go ahead and post them in the chat box.
And also, guys, make sure you are going to the profile and really seeing it. I'm not saying that you have to send me a connection request, you have to connect with me. But I would definitely say that you can go to my LinkedIn profile and understand, because it is a perfect example of how optimized a LinkedIn profile has to be. So make sure you go to my LinkedIn profile and check it after this webinar. And if you have any doubts, you can also drop me a message on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and I'm always there because I'm always there to help people out there.
Sure, so let's just move towards the end speech now. Well, it was really an amazing session to have you here with us. And thank you so much for sharing your experience and enthusiasm with us and inspiring us with it. Whatever we are taking from here, from this webinar, it was just impossible without you. I can now say that the purpose of this event is successfully accomplished. Also, thanking our wonderful audience for today who hanged on with us till the end. You guys are amazing. Before we say goodbye, we find it our propagative to acquaint you with our vision at Sri Shiksha and hoping that you would resonate with us and our endeavor. Sri Shiksha is an e-learning company founded by Mr. Tavishi Kumar, an award winning teenage entrepreneur, coach, and author. She, along with other trainers, entrepreneurs, and mentors from various fields, have contributed to create a self employment program which is specially designed for young students aged between 15 to 22, wanting to start their journeys at entrepreneurship as a regular career option. As we come towards the end of our webinar, once again, I would like to thank our sponsors along with the students and faculty of Ware Chand Mahajan DAV College, Chandigarh. Let us take another minute to thank all the members of Sri Shiksha team who have been ensuring a smooth experience throughout this event. And the first one to thank is none other than Miss Aditi Bhagat, manager at Sri Shiksha. Her efforts have actually made this a very smooth event. We must be thankful and proud of our team members at Sri Shiksha, Ms. Shivi, the CSR, Ms. Khushbu, the senior business developer, as well as Ms. Jaspreet and Ms. Harjot for being so amazing and diligent throughout. Lastly, we must not forget to thank Mr. Vishi Kumar for originating and executing the idea of this event and practically being the reason behind it. So I hope you all have a wonderful day ahead. This is your host Vidisha signing off. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for attending this webinar, and thank you so much for all the questions. I really hope you guys got your answers. And yes, thank you, Team Sri Shiksha, for having me. I really hope that was a useful and helpful webinar. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.